Copilot. If you think about Copilot, whatever, 3 years ago or so, we started with mostly a chat-based response, request-response type of pattern, and especially with GPT-4, it became a new way for us to discover knowledge inside the organization or on the web, and then subsequently we had reasoning models come out that sort of helped us not just have essentially new search, but we had reasoning plus search, right? Even the chat interface started to pretty, drastically change with reasoning models. Then we started getting better at sort of long-run agents, that you could, and tool calling. And so that started sort of really, the beginning of agents like researcher and deep research and what have you. So the first thing we started doing was to say, okay, let's take even chat and that reasoning and make sure that you have access to all the models, right? So in fact, when I use Copilot today, I'm mostly sort of doing auto, and auto is picking the best model for my intent. And then I have a drop down with all the models available. And that is sort of how the chat interface itself has evolved, right? You used to be, in the beginning, you used to have a router, but now the router is becoming smarter and smarter in being able to sort of do the intent classification, pick the right models for the intent. Next, we've now taken that idea of having multiple models and put them even in the context of agents. So if you go to researcher, you now have these new modalities. For example, you have a modality called critique. And I love that a lot because after all, how do we work with people? We critique each other and our ideas. That's the way you work with even models. In fact, another mode that I like a lot is counsel, which is essentially assigning a particular task or a research topic to a group, and then you get the best of all the models come together. And it's fantastic to see it, if you're not used to it, to sort of look at both the models, not only doing critique, but also finding biases in each model, and then, in fact, insights from each model, right? So when even the research report comes back, you gain deeper insights because then you have multiple models at your disposal. Now, the thing that I'm really excited about is this next big thing that we've done, and in fact, today is the general availability of agent mode across Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. It's kind of like 1993 again. And it's actually, in some sense, all of my life's work is right here. And the reason I say that is because if you think about what's happened is Excel became a super popular tool because it helped us intuitively get number sense, right? It had representational power in the canvas, right? The rows and columns have information content, right? As soon as you see a spreadsheet, you kind of make sense of what that spreadsheet is, right? That's why the canvas has lasted this many decades, in fact. And so now, think about what agent mode does. What agent mode does is it takes that information in the sheet, the positional or spatial information representation, and then mixes it with essentially these powerful reasoning models and the ability to take action. Not just reason, but take action. And so when you put that together, it's magic, right? Which is you now are creating a very sophisticated, you're instructing the model to create a very sophisticated model, an Excel model. And then when it creates the model, it's represented in this canvas, which you know how to even spatially inspect. And you know what's driving what, what's next to what. And then you can then further reason about it. And in fact, you can take that entire reasoning trace plus the sheet plus the model and share it, right? I mean, think about the cognitive work inside the company and how it's getting reshaped. It has familiarity of a spreadsheet, but everything around it is changed. And that, I think, is when you know you have a powerful sort of set of technology. And so we're really, really excited about this agent mode. And of course, we're not stopping there, right? The next thing that is also built into Copilot now is co-work. The ability to now assign asynchronous tasks in a queue to co-work, which, by the way, could be creating a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet or what have you, and that then you can open up in agent mode and round trip this entire way of working. It does feel like, when we move from faxes and inter-office memos to emails and spreadsheets and documents floating around the enterprise, it feels like that time again, where the way we work, the artifacts we create, the workflows that we're involved in are fundamentally going through a sea change. And to kind of give you a little bit of a flavor for this Copilot ecosystem at work, I wanted to introduce my colleague Neeraja. Neeraja, take it over.
Thanks, Satya. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you all in Sydney. And I'm even more excited to show you the latest Microsoft 365 capabilities that Satya was just talking about, including co-work, multimodality, and using agentic